I'd like to have John and Russ and Alan come on up. About last August, I announced the fact that we were asking for increased donations to be part of the Barnabas group. And I asked people if they would actually even give above and beyond that. And we probably, close to $70,000 we got in addition to that donors donated above that. I want to give you a report of what's going on with the new initiatives that we've started. We've started several of them, but first I'd like to have John Cissell come up and tell us what's going on with the Associate Partner Program. John, come on up.
Hello, Barnabas. You all heard Bruce, so get ready to sign your life away and start giving right now. Just a little bit of your time. I'm here to talk about the Associate Program. And basically, I have the incredible opportunity of running it right now, which I will describe here in just a minute. But first, I wanted to mention a little bit about myself. I've always been passionate about business and ministry working together. When I was a kid, someone prophesied over me that I would always have one foot in business and one foot in ministry. And here I am today, which is pretty cool. So my dad, also named John Cissell, if you recognize the name, invited me to be a part of Barnabas about 2 years ago. And basically, since coming, I think the thing I hear the most is, how old are you? Which I never ask back, by the way. Basically, following this comment, I always then hear, I wish I had the opportunity to join Barnabas when I was your age. This inspired a thought. What could a young person like me do if I was surrounded by incredibly experienced Christian men and women that are teaching me the value of crossing business and ministry? I believe this same thought came to Jim West and Jen Tarbell's mind when they created the Associate Program. The Associate Program is for young business-minded professionals that love Jesus and desire to be a part of a community of like-minded people. It's an incredible opportunity because it is both extremely affordable and a priceless opportunity. We are currently growing and seeking ways current partners can help sow into associates. We, as associates, are part of your legacy because we will carry on and grow the things you started in Barnabas. Let's try something. How many of you have had a mentor or coach before? Please raise your hand. Wow. This is a dying art, but you can help save it. An associate wants 3 things, all of which you have the answers to. I'm about to tell you the secrets of the millennial. So take out your pens, turn to page 31, and take some notes. Associate members, or millennials, want to be called, we want to be connected, and we want to be coached. We desire a purpose, a defined path that is focused on doing something with meaning. I cannot think of a more fulfilling place to be than Barnabas. Seeing the way these ministries impact the world and are perfect examples of her fulfilling calling. Who is God calling you to ask to be a part of Barnabas? Your guidance is welcomed and needed. You have the opportunity to help a young professional help define their calling by having them join a community that will encourage them to keep their faith and purpose at the center. We want to be connected. Community is a buzzword that can never be overused in our generation. We want to be people that value what we value. Will you please consider hosting an event, helping creating space for associates to grow and mingle and stay connected? Lastly, will you coach? We are developing coaching opportunities where we will pair you with an associate to help grow in the area where they are most interested in growing. Our hope and prayer is to create organic mentoring relationships where you can pour down what God has stored up in you. I hope you consider one of these options. We will do so much more for the kingdom if our generation is being led by the generations before us. Thank you.
If you look at page 31, 33, and 35, those are the feedback forms for the 3 initiatives that you're going to hear about. And so fill those out, and there'll be places to drop those in and connect with these guys. Russ, Cline, tell us what's going on with Barnabas coaching.
You know, I was doing some research last week. There are about 1.5 million nonprofits operating in the United States. Many more have, 990s, but about 1.5 million are operating. Every year there's about 50,000 new organizations that are started. Here in California there's about 300,000 nonprofits operating. Ben Carson, a number of years, he claimed that 9 out of 10 nonprofits fail. Actually, the stats are a little over 50% that actually fail, because how do you determine if a nonprofit's failing or if it's actually doing something? But a lot of them do fail. The number one reason nonprofits fail, according to Charity Navigator, is because the leader doesn't realize what it takes to operate a successful, sustainable organization, right? They don't realize. They have a great idea, they have a great dream, but they don't realize what it takes to run a successful organization. So the reason these organizations fail is because of leadership. Here at Barnabas, we are a room full of people that have wide experience. We have experience in business, in leadership, in ministry, in entrepreneurship, in a lot of things. Some of the experience we have is really successful experience, and some of it comes out of failure, right? We learn our greatest lessons from hard things that we've learned. Barnabas Coaching was created to position leaders and organizations for greater kingdom impact. And so the way we do that is we gather 4 times a year, about 4 hours a time, and we put a number of people in a room together, and we learn together, and we grow together, and we challenge each other. We coach each other. We try to become better leaders. And in this room, we have people that have great experience. Let me illustrate this a little bit. So Brian, stand up. I'm going to throw this to you, see if it doesn't hurt you. But Brian's a Barnabas partner. Brian works in a tech company here in Orange County. He has a lot of experience in nonprofit. Try not to take anyone else with this thread. But Brian's part of Barnabas Coaching, and he comes alongside a nonprofit leader. Last week, we gathered here in Irvine, and Connie, where are you? Stand up. Connie is a Barnabas partner, been a part of Barnabas for a long time. Go ahead, Brian, and throw that to Connie. Be careful, be careful. Nice. Connie came, years of experience in leadership, in teaching. He did an incredible session on strategy to a group of nonprofit leaders and a group of Barnabas partners that are coaches. Connie, John and Heather, I'm sure you guys will stand up. John and Heather are nonprofit leaders. They run a new ministry. Just wait, Connie, this will be great. They run a new ministry in San Juan Capistrano serving the Latino. No one's listening to me. They're throwing this yarn around. They run a nonprofit ministry called Unidos in San Juan Capistrano, caring for Latinos, helping them with a homework and a community project, and it's an incredible ministry, but they need some help. So we come together, just hold that, I don't want you to throw it maybe throw it to Jim, that'd be good, throw it to Jim. Nice, so together, we form a community. And we gather 4 times a year, and Brian brings his strengths as a coach. Connie brings his experience and teaches and challenges. John and Heather come and they learn and they soak it in, not just from their coach or from someone teaching, but from the whole community. And together we build relationships. There's a number of other coaches that are a part of this in this room. Our first cohort, we have 13 nonprofit leaders and 13 Barnabas partners, and we closed it off. We have a waiting list. Next year we'll do some evaluation, but hopefully we'll launch a second group. It's another way. There's a lot of ways for you to be involved with Barnabas. This is another way for you to come in, get involved, giving some time, about 20 hours a year, building some relationship, getting involved with some local organizations that, you know what, they need to learn from your experience, from your passion, and from your life. Would you be willing to come and just share a little bit of that? That's what Barnabas Coaching is. My contact information is in there. You can contact Jim. But if you're interested in that, let me know. And when we launch our next group, we will give you more information about that. That's coaching.
If you want to connect with Russ, just fill some information out on that feedback form and drop it in the box. Alan Pott. I've heard Alan has been called a shark many times, but now Alan is actually running our Shark Tank.
Thank you. Connie, I'm just guessing. You weren't a quarterback, were you? Just guessing, just guessing. We're here to make announcements, but one thing I want to say before I get to this, Oak Valley College made the statement, our country needs this. I think our country needs Barnabas. Look what we have here tonight. Look what we've had for the last 18 years. Look what is going on. I'm excited about this group, excited about what's happening here tonight and what we've done for the last 18 years. I'm going to go back Bob Schenk mentioned 32 years ago in a encounter that he had. 32 years ago, I was in my first Bible study, changed my life. 32 years ago and 33 years ago, I took a class at SC, and it was on entrepreneurship, and that changed my life as well. And God put a passion inside of me to start businesses. Since then, he has gifted me with a number of wonderful businesses that have been just a treasure to participate in. I've been self-employed all that time. God has utilized this passion, allowed me to start up some interesting organizations, including the opportunity to work with Jim for a number of years. So what does that got to do with the price of tea in China? Well, Shark Tank. Who has seen the television show? Everybody familiar with it? Most of you are. Hit television show, kind of neat, kind of fun, kind of odd. Well, what we want to do is we want to take that concept and make it God-honoring and utilize it here for the Barnabas Group. We'd like to take the similar concept, bring it to Barnabas Group, and that starts here in November. As you know, the Barnabas Group and its members have been assisting ministries in many ways for 20 years. Now we want to create a specific opportunity for startup ministries or existing ministries that have a new initiative. What we want to do is allow them to present their proposals to a group of our sharks. Good sharks, Jim. Present their opportunity to a group of our sharks where they can obtain funding and or gifts in kind, which I'm going to tell you about in a moment. Now, you may be aware that all the ministries that come up here, they ask for a lot of things, your participation, your talent, your time, but they never ask for the money. This is going to be a little bit different in that we know the startup has to have some funding that goes along with that. So our sharks are going to provide some funding, and if possible, we'd like to raise some additional funding as well. In addition to just funding of the startup and the ministry, what we want to do is provide gifts in kind, and here's where many of you can participate. What we're looking for these startups, for these new initiatives, is legal assistance, accounting assistance, marketing, technology, mentoring, and or coaching, as we just learned about. Maybe football skills? No, we don't need that. So if you have a business, if your existing vocation is in any of those fields or in another area that you think a new ministry would benefit from, we'd like to hear from you. So if you take out your tear sheet and look at the picture of the shark, it's not me, it's an actual shark. If you have an interest in participating in Shark Tank as a shark, gift in kind, additional funding resource, we'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. We've got a couple of sharks here, additional sharks. Gene and John, you guys wave your hands. If you'd like to learn more about what we're doing, see one of us after the fact, and we'd love to have you participate in the Barnabas Shark Tank. Thank you.